Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Manchester by the Sea. So Manchester by the Sea is getting a ton of Oscar buzz and a ton of nominations as the early award shows begin to roll out their lists. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the film. I just don't know that I'm quite as enthusiastic as some of my movie-loving counterparts. But let's just go ahead and jump right in to talking about the film, shall we? So first of all, this is definitely an actor's film. I think that the acting from top to bottom, I think the acting from top all the way down to the bottom is wonderful. Casey Affleck turned in an amazing performance. One of the best performances from a male actor I've seen all year long. Michelle Williams doesn't have a whole lot of screen time, but she makes such a huge impact on the short amount of screen time she does have. She was wonderful as well. Lucas Hedges is really, really good in his role as well. And I just love Kyle Chandler, period. Love me some Friday Night Lights. And he also is very, very good in this movie. Everybody, all the supporting cast, the people we don't even really know their names, just everyone turned in a really, really good performance. The movie also tackles some pretty heavy issues without ever feeling overly heavy. It doesn't feel like they're just shoving depression and this is how you deal with things in your face. It's a really well-paced film that lets you experience this moment in these people's lives really well, and it really kind of puts the audience in the situation. You kind of feel like you're living in that house with the uncle and nephew. And I have to really give the screenwriters credit because I think the script here is just fantastic. I think the screenplay is one of the strongest aspects to the film after the acting. And the film has a new kind of perspective on grievance and dealing and grieving with a loved one's passing or a sad event in your life. And at least from Casey Affleck's character's point of view, I really enjoyed it. I did have a little bit of a problem with the nephew's point of view, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's go ahead and jump into the negatives of the film. So, speaking of that nephew, call me a prude, but I just was a little bit disturbed that so much of this movie revolved around a 16-year-old having sex with various girls. I understood a lot of what was being said with the nephew and how he was dealing with what was happening and kind of just pushing his feelings down. I just wish we had gotten more real moments with him. I feel like there were a couple breakthrough moments where it felt like, he was breaking through with the emotion, but we never really got that with the nephew, and I wanted it. I was yearning for it. I was watching, wondering did he even love the character that passed away? I'm not so sure. So, while I loved the way they handled Casey Affleck and his still very muted reaction, I thought it was done expertly. A subtle, but very impactful and very clear way of grieving. The son, much less clear, and I think not handled quite as well. But that doesn't take away from the acting performance that Lucas Hedges put in, because I think he was really, really good. And I do think that the nephew and uncle had a great chemistry, so that's a big plus to those two. I also think this movie starts weak. It really feels kind of like a jumbled mess for about the first fourth of it, and that kind of put me off on a weird note. There's a weird fight sequence where it just is really poorly choreographed. You see the fist this far away from his face. It was bad. And I really thought that whole sequence was just bad. The editing was also super clumsy to start off, and it stayed a little bit weird throughout. They put in really strange shots that didn't have any sort of emotional resonance, and they didn't have any sort of storyline resonance. So I wasn't sure why they were there. And this film also, I thought, lingered on shots just too long. There were some times where they just let a shot go for about 5 seconds past what it should have gone, and you're just sitting there with dead space And again, it's not helping you to reflect on what you just saw in any sort of way, and I have to say, leaving the film, I was iffy on the ending. I've come around to it quite a bit after just kind of thinking about this movie afterward and just kind of taking it all in. I've kind of come to grips with, I like how the film ended. It was a very authentic ending. Just know this is not necessarily a feel-good picture, so if that's what you're going in hoping for, pick something else. But overall, I really did like Manchester by the Sea. It's a well-crafted, well-written, amazingly acted film. And I think its closest counterpart in this award season is definitely Moonlight. I think that they're both smaller, more intimate films. I think overall I enjoyed Moonlight more. It had a bigger impact on me, and I thought that movie was nearly perfectly executed. But I think Manchester by the Sea is a very good movie. And I find myself struggling to describe why I like both of those movies as much as I did, but I did really enjoy them both. So I think Manchester by the Sea is definitely worth a full price ticket just for the quality of the film alone. Again, it's definitely not like a Friday or Saturday night have to go out with a group of friends kind of movie, but I think you'll really get something out of this if you give it a chance. So, that is my review of Manchester by the Sea. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Have you seen Manchester by the Sea? Do you want to see it? And what is your favorite funeral film? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!